All right, folks, it's been something of a sideways day, but stocks, you can see it during this show, trying to gain momentum as we head into the final hour of trading. This as we await President Trump's plan to restore our economy. Also, we just had news that the New York Fed president saying that this central bank, that their work is not done yet. John Williams saying, in fact, moments ago, reaffirming that the programs are available to support credit lines to households, businesses. They're talking about states, local governments as well. Joining me now to help hash it all out, MoneyMorningPress.com Chief Technical Strategist D.R. Barton and Nicholas Wealth Management's President David Nicholas. D.R., let me start with you. Listen, I think it's a given that we're going to get more of this. We just had Constance Hunter on, and she really is kind of concerned that we didn't start soon enough with this, although I'm not sure how you could have started any sooner. What more do we need in terms of impetus, whether it's Federal Reserve, federal government, to keep us, to build this bridge from here to when we can really get back to work?
Well, I think a couple of things are pretty clear, Charles, and the biggest one I think is in the small business area. They say, we've already run out of that first $350 billion of that loan facility. So to be able to allow those businesses to stay alive and keep those people on the payroll, keep those employees on the payroll, that's going to be the biggest thing for the whole company so that the demand can come back quicker than we hope.
David, I want to ask you the same question, also knowing that there's some kind of crazy horse trading going on in Congress right now, even as that spigot is run dry.
Yeah, I think the small business aspect of it is key. I think your last guest alluded to that. There's a lot of Americans that work for businesses that have under 50 employees, under 20 employees. So I think that's key. But I also think it's all about cash on hand. So I think that the same way that small businesses are hurting in this sense where they've got liquidity issues, for the public companies that we want to own the companies that have cash on hand as well. So while I do think Main Street small businesses are feeling this as well, I think we're going to see some of those losses show up in large publicly traded companies that don't have strong balance sheets, that don't have growing free cash flow issues. So I really think it's across the board, Main Street and Wall Street as well.
Is that what they mean then, David, by buying quality in this environment?
Absolutely, Charles. I think this is not the time to own a little bit of everything. You've got to know where exposure is. You've got to know where your risk is. For me, I like companies that have strong balance sheets, growing free cash flows, ample liquidity, and manageable debt. It's in those companies that I think we're going to be successful. And those are the companies that have been doing well, Charles, right? Who are the ones that are holding cash? Google, Microsoft, Amazon. Remember, we're buying risk. We're not buying return. And for me, the risks that I want to buy are in the companies that have the strength and the balance sheet to get through whatever the economy may throw at us in the next few months.
And speaking of that, DR, I got to give you a shout out. January 13th of this year, you said your number one pick was Amazon. It just erupted the last few sessions. They put out a shareholder letter today essentially saying we might be the most important commercial company in the world. And investors are chasing it. They're running up these, the price targets on it. Is this something that people should keep buying? Is this, even though they've run up, these are names to focus on, chase the winners?
I think that's right, Charles. And I think what we're going to see coming on the other side of the coronavirus is these companies that are doing well now, that are winning in this environment, are going to win the paradigm shift coming out the other side. People are going to be buying more Amazon stuff, doing more cloud computing, the areas where Amazon are strongest. They're going to start that delivery service to compete with FedEx and UPS that they've delayed. All of those things are going to come out the other side with these paradigm shifting companies like DocuSign, Teladoc, Zoom. Those are the places you want to be. They're going to win the other side of this crisis.
Well, we don't have a lot of time left. Guys, I want to thank you both very, very much. I love your enthusiasm.